Okay, I'm using the biggest knife that I have so you can see this easily. This is really, these techniques are really easy, but the problem is none of them work except for like two. I do a lot of full contact knife fighting with these aluminum knives. We have fencing masks on and a light street hockey glove. And I've tried all of them. The only one that I can really make work against somebody that's fighting me with the knife is our 9th one. I'm going to try to, we may not get to 9, but you've got to have something, and these are good as far as just basic. There's nothing else I can do. I am stuck. What could I possibly pull off? And so these are a few of those. One of the most popular hits that I do that's easy and it's very effective is a strike to the eye. So when I'm hitting, I'll come this way. Very seldomly do we do this. And the reason for that is because it's easy to move your hands around. It's easy to move your head also, but that is so fast, it's difficult to get your hands up in front of your face to defend against it. So that's one of the most popular knife attacks, knife strikes that people do. I've got a ton of knife fighting videos of us actually doing sparring matches with the gatherings that we do here in Houston every few months. Anyway, they're on YouTube. If you want to look those up and watch how the guys will fight with knives, it's pretty interesting. So the first thing that we're going to do, these are important, he's going to strike in at my head, at my eyes on this side. So he's going to do this. Boom. He's not going to, normally he's not going to, nobody's going to hit you like this. It's not like a reverse punch with the knife in your hand. They're flicking around at you. So he's going to kind of hit to my side like he's doing a hook, and he's going to stab me right in the face. What I want to do as he does this is I'm going to use the back of my hand that is between us. I don't want to use this hand because if he turns this over, he'll slice me up. I want to use this hand because if he pulls it over and tries to slice, what he's going to hit is this bone in my forearm. So I'm doing this. I'd much rather have this bone block the hit from anything major than to put my hand out and have my wrist cut and have my body opened up. So I'm going to come to here. I'm going to push this down toward his body, and I'm going to face the other direction. I always want to face his knife, face the weapon. So I'm in a cat stance. You can't see that, but I'm in a cat stance. And this hand will come out. So we call this tapping. I'm going to push it down, and he'll stab at my head again. And I'll push it down, he'll stab back head at my head. And down. And this just teaches me to catch this weapon and where to put it as I'm moving. And I'm just switching from cat stance to cat stance. This is very easy. My other hand, my live hand, stays right at my chest. I can have it here, or I can have it flat against my chest. Either one is fine. All right, so as he stabs in, my first technique, and I will pick up all these techniques out of that drill, out of that tapping position. He'll strike in. I'll pass it. As he comes in, I know it's coming, so now I'm going to grab his wrist. In. I'm getting just his wrist, and I'm going to do an outside or inside, depending on who you're working with, wrist lock. And that's going to give me some play in this knife. So I want to come to here. I'll use the flat of my forearm against the flat of the blade. He's going to move his thumb out of the way so it doesn't hurt his thumb. And there's my strip. I'm just hitting my arm into his arm. And the knife is in the way. One more time. And if his thumb is here, as I strip this out, it'll hurt his thumb. So I'm just doing that. Again, slowly. And I'll normally do that one if I have a knife also. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one, same thing. I pull this over, but my opponent now has a low grip. So there's some handle sticking out here. His thumb's on the back side. I do the exact same thing. I'll put the knife edge of my hand, like I'm doing a knife hand chop, to the red portion of the knife. the very top of the handle, and I'm going to push it and use the bottom of his hand as my fulcrum. So that's going to just roll this knife into my fist. So we'll go from his fist into mine. And it should roll exactly. Okay? Sorry. And this is because he has a little space here for me to work with. My pinky grabs it, and each finger just rolls around the hilt as I point it in. And this is really important. I don't have it way out here. I'm going to try to keep it right in front of me. One more time. Second one. Third one. This time, he's going to have, instead of having a low grip, he's going to have a high grip. So there's some butt sticking out. So he strikes in again. Here, I'm going to put my hand along the inside of his forearm and run my hand up. So the web of my hand will go right along the butt here. This time he's going to have his fingers closed, his thumb around it, and I'm using the web as my fulcrum. So it's going to be just like a teeter-totter. I'll push it up, and there's my stab. It will roll right out of his hand. It's very fast. Again, slowly. Get my wrist lock, because all this is much easier with my wrist lock. Up. And all these are going to the neck. They can go to the arm. They can go here. They can be cuts, whatever you want. I just like to stab into the neck because it seems like it's more practical. So this time, I get this. I'm going for my wrist lock. He knows what's coming. He's going to tighten his wrist up so I can't bend it. So none of these are going to work because I can't get his wrist to bend. My hand will come under our arm, not on top, because if I come on top, I've got to let go and then try to reacquire his hand, and I can't do that. I can't bend it. I'll come up the back of his arm and grab here like this. So I've got contact with his arm. As I let go, my other hand locks right in position. I'll bring this down this way. And at the very end, I'm going to give a little tug and bend his wrist in. So I've got, instead of my inside wrist lock, I've got a downward wrist lock here. My first strip will be under, so my forearm is going against the flat of the blade. I'll pull this and I'll push this. And from here I do whatever I want. Again. Here. Under. Strip it out. And again, it works because he already doesn't have a very good grip. Jeff has never had a full grip anyway. Come on, Jeff, get a grip. All right, next, same thing. He's got it locked up. I switch it, same, pull around and bend. Now I'm going to snake over his head. I don't want his knife to go that direction because maybe he has a friend over there. Well, somebody else might have a friend over there. For me, for Jeff, who knows? My hand is going to snake under. I'm still going against the flat of the blade with my forearm, but my hand will snake around his arm and go to his eyes, and I'll do an eye strike. And the knife goes the other direction. Everything starts out of this drill. I just take it when I'm ready. Oh, there it is. Here. Finish any way you want. One more time. It's not working. I bring it around. My arm goes in front of the blade and snakes around. And you can't see it well, but the flat of the blade is now against my bicep. And as I stab in with my hand, the knife should just come out. That's 5, 6. This time, I'm kind of pissed at him. I'm going to open my hand up. I've got my wrist lock. The web will go right here at the top of the hilt, and I feed it back in to his ribs. And again, it should come right into